And on that happy note, we begin. Welcome. That was Murphy welcoming you to this special call this morning. And I am sitting here quietly grateful, feeling the feels, as they say, for the miracle of YouTube that can connect like-hearted people from all over the world for topics that are so important. And what's on my mind today is one of the things that I hear from Abraham Hicks all the time. And that is that we are blended beings, that we have the inner being within that is fearless, loving, supportive, and highly magnetic. When people are in that vibe of who they really are, they're just magnetic. You want to be with them. And then we have this other self, the animal self. Who did I just hear say that yesterday? They were talking about our body being an animal and that it needs to have fresh air and exercise. It needs to be taken care of, but it also is survival based. And that the part of our humanity, our personality that's based on survival and getting through difficult times. Hey, Anthony, welcome back. You're here in the right day because I'm doing readings around the inner being. And I'm going to try to pay attention to the chat too, but I'm changing up how I'm doing things a little bit today because I can't say what I want to say to the people, to each of you who visit me. Because too many people, well, no, not too many people are coming to the call. Hang on a second, I have to walk away from that. The perfect number of people are always coming to the calls, and I am so glad to see you guys. Good morning, Jahan. So I am changing things up a little bit. So those of you who are regular and come every week, thank you for that. I'm just so grateful that you're here with me every week. And then, and you probably have heard sometimes I get rushed because I'm trying to get to everybody on the list. So what I'm doing now, I'm just going to change it up. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make sure that we all can digest the information that's coming out so there's no feeling of hurry. And then I'm just going to pick people. So I might pick you this week and I might not. And so I want to have everybody be comfortable with that because I know y'all want to have some sort of contact with the cards, and I love the cards too, so I get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do, like, specifically, I'm going to honor the people that have questions about manifesting, questions about law of attraction. I definitely am going to honor those first because that's where I want to focus. And so other things around your life that are needful, there's several other. Good morning, everyone. There are several other lives that are posted now that have various topics. So that might be if that's where you want to go. But for today, we're talking about the law of attraction. So the first thing I'm going to, wait, did I say the part about, okay, I'm not going to be able to, I will do my best to get to as many people as I can during this reading, but I'm going to be taking a little bit more time. I may even pull a couple extra cards as we go forward, depending on what the energy is. But the first thing I want to do is do a little science class. So welcome to class, everybody. Today's class is on magnetism. And if this feels like I'm talking to kindergartners, that's because in a way I am. Hold on just for a second. Murphy, come. What are you doing back? Come here. Okay. Because in a way, when we're trying to manifest something that's not showing up, we are like kindergartners. There's a powerlessness about not being, Murphy, come here. there's a powerlessness about not being able. Now, this is a perfect example with Murphy, because he's after something. He wants to chew on something, and I don't want him to. So I told him no. He came out, and he immediately went back. And I had to interrupt myself and interrupt this to talk to him. This is a great example of your brain, your human brain, that has some compulsions to do things that are not in your best interest, right? We hold our own self back with our self-defeating habits. When we're in the flow and we're connected to the source and we're flowing along, that's when your life has more ease and flow, and that's what we're after, okay? So understanding magnetism is a really good first place to start. So here I have two magnets. Now, the way I believe that the universe created us to operate is something that I call horizontal gravity, right? So you're going out in your life, you're going to this coffee shop or that grocery store, or you're just going to work, whatever it is you're doing, you're out in the world. And as you go out there, if you do find somebody that for some reason is important to your life, there is a natural magnetism, okay? And that's where you find yourself in the right place at the right time. Let's say you need to have a plumber at your house. You're somewhere and the guy behind you says, you know what, I have the best plumber. And you turn around and say, can I have their name? So this kind of thing, or finding money, having somebody gift you with something special. These things happen when this natural magnetism is happening. Now, what makes a magnet a magnet? Okay, I am going to get to the cards, I promise. But what makes a magnet is when they're in their highest, best natural state as a human. So if you're walking out of the house with a heart of just appreciation for your day, you're going to have more luckier, and I put my air quotes, luckier experiences because you have a pleasant demeanor about you. So if that's when humanity is so open to help one another, when people are in that natural state. Now, sometimes life throws you a curveball, and the curveball can flip your life upside down, right? Many times it's a storm. So many storms in the last year, right? Hurricanes, and then there's fires. I lived in Mexico through a deadly fire. I had to evacuate twice, and it was very scary. And talk about humbling to look at your life and think, what can I pack in my car? It makes me emotional even to think back on it, because it was very scary. I have two dogs and I had a small car, so of course they're going, but I had to gather up just like one suitcase of what I might, what was important. So at any rate, if your life gets thrown upside down for whatever reason, it might be a divorce. It might be that you have to move and you don't want to, but life flips you. Then what happens is this. You are walking around life just like before, going through your various tasks, and you're wanting to attract an answer to your problem, right? You want to find that loved one. You want to find the new career. You need change. But now look at this. Because of the fact that your life got flipped upside down and you lose your ability to have well-being, look what happens. The very person that could help you, the very answer that you're looking for, is running away from you, right? And that's what brings a lot of people to calls like this, because they're looking for something they're not getting. So what's the answer? The answer is to get your life flipped back right side up. How do we do that? That's where Abraham teaches about alignment, right? Even on this call right now, there's some of you listening to my voice, and there's something in my voice that makes you feel better, like a Band-Aid, right? And that's not an accident. When you're wanting to attract change into your life, you need to be able to recognize if your life's flipped upside down. You have to stop blaming everybody else for your problem, because it's you. You're the one. Everywhere you go, something's running away from you. So once you take responsibility, it could be yoga, it could be therapy for some of you, it could be tapping. I use tapping with every one of my clients, and tapping is the best remedy I know for flipping your life right side up again, because all it takes is just that decision on your part. I'm no more. I'm responsible. I'm the one that's, it's laughable. It's not like you're blaming yourself. You're just taking responsibility that everywhere you go, you keep running into the wrong people. Have you ever had 3 boyfriends in a row and they were all awful, or, whatever? But anyway, so we take ourselves and we flip ourselves back right side up. I'm sorry, that was probably noisy. So you've taken responsibility, you've gotten therapy, you've got a life coach, you start to watch readings and take action, make your behavior match your desires, and all of a sudden you're more magnetic again. And then when you go out, then the natural magnetism is restored to you. Okay, so that's your science lesson for today. I will be demonstrating that until y'all are tired of hearing it, but because it's real. And if your life is upside down right now, you are in the right place. I'm Catherine. You have reached Fish Out of Water Tarot. And this morning we're doing Law of Attraction readings. I am so glad you are here. So as you know, if you've been here with me before, I'm here same time every Sunday, plus whenever I feel like it during the week. But we always draw one card for the theme and direct message from the universe. So the theme of today is about getting messages from our inner being. If your inner being were to reach out to you through these cards today, what does your own inner being want you to know? I personally am going through a time of doubt about a certain issue. And I've been listening to a lot of Abraham recordings because that's what I do when I feel doubtful. I love listening to Esther's voice and teaching about these things. And she was saying that if you're in doubt, you're not in the vortex, right? You're not in a receptive zone. So you need to be in a receptive zone. And how they talk about that is that you distract yourself, you pivot away from your worry, the topic that's worrying you, you change your thinking on purpose. And I want to say back to Esther, easier said than done, or easier for you. You know Abraham, so you don't have as much of a struggle as the rest of us, which is not true. Hola, hello everybody. Anyway, so in the night, the Nine of Swords, if you guys are familiar with tarot, the Nine of Swords is the worry in the middle of the night card, and last night I was worried, but I had made a decision yesterday that when I thought about my issue, every time I thought about the issue, I would say to myself this: do you believe you have an inner being? And my answer to that is yes. So if you're here, throw a comment in there. Do you believe you have an inner being? And for me, it was yes. So that was my homework from the universe. Every time I started to worry about my issue, I was supposed to say that, because it's true. I do believe I have an inner being. And so that was enough to stop my mind from thinking of the worry thing. And so then, of course, something happened that challenged that, but I really tried. So last night I was up in the night, and I wasn't overly worried, but it was stealing my sleep. So I said, do you believe you have an inner being? And you know what? I wasn't as sure. Isn't that weird? But I thought I had to change the sentence. So I said, do you believe that a part of you is connected to source? And I said, yes. You want to get that yes, that you feel it's true. That alone shifts you to a place where you can look at your situation differently. And so I wanted to just ask our inner beings to speak through these cards. Now I'm done. I ranted and raved long enough. So this is our card for the overall theme of the reading. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, inner being, because this is awesome. New vitality, fresh starts. Now, I got goosebumps in my chest and even going down my arms when I pull this card. And then I look at the pan, I think, is that called a pan flute, what he's playing? I'm not sure of it, but I love it. And look at the rainbow energy coming out, you know, the diversity. I feel like inner being is saying to us, you are so diverse, that you have talents you don't even know about, that you're focused in on something, so you're staring at it, like this lizard on this stone. Can you see this? Hello, I have a friend named David who gave this to me. That makes me emotional. Some of you know I moved a couple months ago, and I miss people. But if we stared at that lizard and you just look at it and look at it and look at it, you're missing everything else that's going on around you, okay? So I feel like this energy of allowing that as we use one of our gifts, that many will be, what's the word? Revealed. That's a good word. So use the gift that you have with joy and have fun with it, the way he's using his breath to blow into the instrument, but knowing that the result of that will bring you great diversity and magic. Okay, so I received that 100,000%. As you guys know, I always say that these cards are really for me, and I'm just glad that y'all can resonate with them, with me. But Anthony, you were here. Anthony is somebody who, gosh, when, Anthony, that was a few months ago, I think, the first time that we met, and was lucky enough to do some private work together also. And I'm very curious how everything's going with you, Anthony, and I'm glad you're back. But so right now, if you have a question about the law of attraction, please ask it, because I really would love to answer the question. And then the rest of you that are watching, go ahead. As I said earlier, I'm going to get to as many people as I can, and I'm giving priority to the people who have a question about the law of attraction or manifesting. So Anthony, what if you were to ask anything about the science lesson that we had today, or notice how wonderful true attraction is. I mean, look at that, right? When it's true attraction, it doesn't fall apart. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, so question, Mr. Fedora, what can we draw a card for you about attraction or manifesting today? And I'm just gonna, let's see. Oh, yeah, great. Hi, Samira, how are you? We're taking law of attraction questions. Por favor. That's how you say please in Spanish. Okay. Don't be shy. If you've never heard of the law of attraction, you can ask me that. Oh, I will give you a, while I'm waiting, update on Bella. Last week, remember Bella had a sore on her tail, and she was licking it, and I had to go to the vet and all that. And she's feeling much better this week. She's, everything is recovered. I'm so, so grateful for that. Sometimes, isn't it hard to know when to go to the vet or to a doctor? Okay, feeling I'm attracting, okay, hold on a second. Okay. All right. You have to adjust a little bit. Hang on a second. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm my own admin department, and so. Okay. All right. So, what do you do if there is a. Okay. All right, so that's a good one. Okay, so what I'm seeing, I'm kind of blinking out a little bit. Wait, let me just move this way so I can, hold on, guys. Let me just adjust myself. There. Okay, now I'll be able to see better. Sorry about that. So, okay. Anthony, I don't know if you were here in the beginning when I said that I found, or no, I didn't tell this part yet. Because I had an aha before we started today about when you know how to thrive when you're being deprived, okay? whenever you're waiting for money or you really need a sum of money, it's just so hard to distract yourself from the need. And again, if you haven't listened to a lot of Abraham Hicks, they're so good, so good. What they talk about is getting into the receiving zone, right? Being in an energy of receptivity. And so that's what I have been learning. And so also, what is it about being able to do okay when things are tough? What is it about that that can hold us back, you know? So Anthony, thank you for asking that. Now we'll draw you a card and see what your inner being has to say about this need, this lack that's going on. Okay. Okay, let's just take a look here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm aware of is there's a target here. Can you see the target behind the hand? And that heart is right in the center of it. And it's the green in there makes me always think of the heart chakra. And of course, the heart is at the center of this. Okay, so this is what's coming to me. There's a certain degree of cautiousness that is in your vibe. Potentially, there's been some betrayal in the past in the area of your finances. And it could be too that in the past, there was like investing in the wrong thing, having a negative result around your money. So what the card is saying to me is it's about forgiveness, and it's almost like forgiving money, reconnecting with the spirit of money. There's been a lot of hurt feelings around money, and that there's a part of you that feels unloved about it, rejected about it. And the irony is that you learn so much when things are tough. I heard a quote yesterday that said that boats are safe and secure when they're tied up at the mooring, but they're not built for that. They're built to be on the sea where the sea is rough and it demands a lot of adjustment. So Anthony, I think what your inner being is telling you is that you need to get reconnected with the positive vibe around money. Now, there are some great money manifestation videos out there. And if you want, I'm going to throw this out there this way. If you want to write to me, my Gmail address is TarotInfoPlease@gmail.com, and just ask for resources. I'm happy to give you 2 or 3 videos from manifestation meditations that I personally use here on YouTube. It's just that I don't know, right now I don't want to take time to put it into the comments, but if it's something that you're interested in, let me know. Otherwise, just use the YouTube search and search in there for money manifestation meditations, and that will help a ton, because you do need to build a bridge between the hurt feelings that you've had about money and what you want from money right now. Hey, Murphy. He gets so jealous of his sister. But there is some inner conflict. I think it has to do with the people that maybe have hurt your feelings in the past with money. So I'm just going to draw just one more card here, Anthony, just to clarify that a little bit, maybe give you a bit of a clue on it. Okay, yes, and remember that our inner being is what is connecting us all, right? Because we share. I mean, yes, we have our own guidance from the inner beingness, but that's what makes us so magnetic. And so, Anthony, you can expect that you will have something good fortune to happen for you this week because of breaking the energy a little bit by coming forward and asking your question. So don't be surprised if you don't get a telephone call out of the blue or some sort of piece of wisdom for you. Also, they're on Netflix right now. If you get Netflix, there is a documentary on money, and it's good. You know, just the basics that we all could have learned had we known better at the time. So, oh, this is a good card for you, Anthony, the Ten of Swords. So remember, this is where it's showing that you have been carrying a ton of worry and also hurt feelings. So between the hurt feelings and the worry that you have been living with, and it's energetic, right? It's almost been like an umbrella keeping your blessings from you. If you look at the shape of these birds over her head, it's, if you can imagine that the abundance that you have coming for you, and for you it might be in the area of guidance so that you know step by step what to do next. But the good news is that it's a sign that a cycle is just about over. So you are coming to a place where you're going to be getting into a new cycle, and you're going to be, hey Vanessa, you're going to be seeing a bright horizon out there for you, not to get corny. But you do need some education, okay? You need to figure out what it is. How do you make a plan? And there is some simple guidance out there available to you, especially on YouTube. You can look up anything on YouTube, right? But take responsibility. Remember that everything starts with one baby step, okay? And also, Anthony, remember that all you need all you need to know ever is the next logical step. So I will be saying this quite a bit today because I am such an Abraham Hicks fan, but if you're ever struggling with a certain issue, you cannot go wrong to go into YouTube, look for Abraham Hicks, and really the best thing you can do, I think our inner being is all singing to us that we have to be receivers, that we need to understand what it is like to receive. Because if you can't, you can't receive something with your hand like this, okay? And if you have tightness and restriction, you can feel it in your body and your heart and your mind and your soul. Then, you know, that's when we need to open up. Now, I personally use tapping. Like I said, I do tapping with people. If you want help, you know how to reach out. Could be me, could be anyone. But if you've been stuck for a while, it's a good idea to get that energy moving. Another thing, go outside. Get outside. You know, take a walk, fresh air, go barefoot. Do things that make your body feel something different. And you'll also clear your energy. Okay, next question. I know a lot of you guys are here. Thank you for revisiting. Vanessa, I did change things up a little bit today. I'm going to select people first who have questions about the law of attraction. And so if you have a specific question about something that you're manifesting and it's not showing up, or you feel frustrated because you just feel stuck, that's what I crave today is manifestation questions. It's questions about the law of attraction. And while I'm waiting, I will tell again about the science experiment, about being able to realize that being in the right place at the right time is true magnetism. I can't pull these apart with one hand because the magnetism is so strong. And so when you get out in the vicinity of something that is supposed to be yours, you feel that click and you know that you know. If your life gets tossed upside down, let's say there's a storm of some kind, there's a divorce, a breakup, you name it, something messes with your life, then when you're out wandering around in your reversed state, what happens is that the thing that you're trying to attract actually runs away from you. And so the only thing to do, is these cards are making the surface uneven, is to get your life straightened up, flip yourself back over. I use tapping. You could use yoga. You could use exercise. You could get life coaching. You could get counseling. Whatever it is you need, get it. Because then when your life is in the right spot, You're going to put together, wait, okay, excellent, excellent. Thank you, Gail. Once your life is back, when your internal self, when you're, I didn't mean to hurry through that, but when you address the area of your life that got flipped upside down, when you address that and take care of those feelings, that's when you're going to be back into your highest magnetism, and what you're wanting is going to come forward. Okay, good. Vanessa, I gotcha. We'll do you next. And now with Gail. Okay, Gail, the weight loss area. I don't know if you have Googled, done YouTubes on Abraham Hicks and weight loss, but I would if I were you. They're hilarious, and they do talk specifically about how and what to do. But let's check in and see what your inner being, Gail, what it is, what is it your inner being wants you to understand about your goals when it comes to your body mass, the physical presence of your body on the planet. Your inner being definitely has a message for you. And I want to say that right now I'm burping, and I feel a lot of pressure in my upper chest, like right where the notch is at the top of my sternum. So Gail, you might be feeling that, because I do move energy for the people that I work with. It's just, I don't understand that. It just happens. Or there could be somebody on the call right now who's feeling a pressure at the top of their chest. And if this is you, go ahead and put your hand up there, just gently just press into that area, because that's an energy block. Isn't that cool? It's really cool to feel blocks that are physical, because when you're trying to do a mental block, like I'm going to eat celery all day tomorrow and I'm gonna love it. We try to move a block around what we're eating with our mind, and it's hard to feel the block. But when you do get a sensation in your throat, chest, up into your ears, can be almost a little painful, or a feeling like right before you're gonna yawn, all those are signs that there's energy blocked there. So Gail, spread your wings, girl. Okay, so I love this. Okay, everybody on the call right now, I want you to put your hand up and just shoot Gail some energy, really and truly. Gail, for you to be vulnerable here right now is just admirable, for sure. There are choices that you have to make, aren't there? Choices. And if you look at the end of this little road, can you see the fork in the road up there? See? And so right now, there's a clear message from your inner being to release your baggage. Okay? Notice she's not carrying anything, is she? No suitcases, no boxes, no bags, no nothing, right? So also in the state that she's in, the state of freedom, right? Because she's not carrying anything. Look at the beam of light coming down right on her. Gentle, hard to see, but divine guidance. So your inner being is clearly saying you got to put down some baggage, girl, okay? Take a breath. Also, Gail, excellent. But as I look too, I'm aware of the shadow. See her shadow on the ground behind? And then we have the light, and the light looks so far away, doesn't it? And sometimes if you have long-term goals with weight loss, the healthiest way to do it is 2 pounds at a time, right? 2 pounds at a time. And so it can feel like forever until you get there. And so this shadow looks like it's kind of frozen this little person in place, that there's a doubt or something. She's just kind of frozen in place. So I think that your inner being is clearly showing that the path is already there. The path is already there, right in front of you. And so be mindful about the things that get your attention. Definitely seek Abraham on weight loss for sure, because you're gonna love what you find. And you guys, if you're new to Abraham Hicks, give yourself a treat. They cover every topic imaginable, and you can just put Abraham Hicks and put the name of your topic. And so the feeling of being warm and emotional, reconnecting with your true self, with the person you were when you were 2 hours old, right? A lot of times when we're born, especially if you're highly sensitive and you feel things, you might be a person who is uncomfortable in fluorescent light. Maybe the tags on clothes bother you. Loud noises might startle you. And therapy is always, I will say thank you for asking me that, Natvarka, because your inner being will guide you if therapy is the best answer. And I know there's somebody else here on the call that needs that also. So I need my notebook here. Because I think I would love to hear what the inner being says about therapy. Okay, and then Vanessa. Okay. All right, where was I here? Let me take a breath here so I don't, okay. So this is what I suggest. As far as unburdening yourself, I have a deck of cards that I just designed, and it's in a PDF document. They're not cards yet, but I would love, love, love to have y'all, if anybody wants to take a look at the cards. They're love attraction cards, but they have to do with self-love also, and the whole goal of finding things that have hurt our feelings and be able to acknowledge and move on from it. So I'm thinking that for Gail, that might be helpful. Okay, thank you, Tina. So I think that I'm getting distracted here. My mind's running. So if you'd like to see the cards, again, just shoot me an email, TarotInfoPlease@gmail.com. It's in the description box below, but that would be awesome, because if you email me, I'll definitely send you a review copy. But I think that it would be helpful for you to do kind of an audit, Gail, and just take the time to write down a list of all of the people that have hurt your feelings right now. Just go for the jugular, just write down their initials, but just go back and just kind of take an audit and see how much energy you might be carrying from past hurt feelings, because that might give you the guidance you need to take the first couple of steps here along your journey. I do feel like you're going to have helpers that notice how the path does split. And I think that as you go forward, you might feel kind of alone at first, but you're going to find like a real true connection support person who can quote unquote coach you or inspire you or give you the strength you need to go forward with this, okay? And now let me just draw another card and see if there's any more clarity. That's a wonderful, hopeful message from your inner being, though. And I believe that it's showing that you've already done so much work, that you are preparing yourself, and that I think there's a part of you, as Abraham teaches, that we're blended beings. So when we are at our highest vibration, we're most expressive of our inner self, and that is what you have achieved. You are believing on the inside, but you need to receive the wisdom and guidance to make your dreams come true. So what we pull here in your support card is the Knight of Swords. And I love the Knight of Swords here because it's a fast moving, but it shows a bit of disjointedness because he's chasing his motorcycle, right? And so in a way, I compare that to this card because the figure is back here, and then chasing that answer, and this figure here is out of sync timing wise. So I feel like the universe is wanting you to know, your inner being wants you to know that you just need to sync up on your timing a little bit better. A good affirmation might be, even though I want my results tomorrow, I realize that everything takes time to mature. Even though I don't want to wait for my results, a part of me knows that's unreasonable. But the idea of finding a way to accept the pace of what you're doing will really help you. Okay? So thank you for being here, Gail. Again, thank you for sure. Let me just take a second here, take a breath. Okay, so we're talking about manifesting. We're talking about the law of attraction. You are so welcome, Gail. Those of you who are here, be sure to hit the thumbs up because that helps YouTube know that we're doing good work over here. Okay, thank you. And also, it feels like a hug, and I can use all the hugs I can get, as you guys know. I wish you were here in front of me and we could read the cards together. I wish I could look into your eyes. I wish I could reach out and touch your hand. And I wish that we could be closer than we can be through the internet. But remember, when you guys affirm that you're here and you're enjoying it, you're connected. We're all connected to the energy that's here. Okay, so we're doing law of attraction questions, and I do have a couple that I'm going to get to right now. So first is Vanessa. And Vanessa, thank you so much for coming forward, because you represent a lot of people. Vanessa went through a deep loss of her partner, and he passed away, and not terribly long ago. And what is it that she's supposed to do? How do you go? How do you walk it out? How do you walk out that kind of loss? What is it? Why did it happen? The questions that you ask yourself are so sometimes pointless, because it doesn't matter. And yet the mind can just get so wrapped up in the pain and trauma that it's hard to know how to proceed. Okay, so everybody just holding Vanessa in your heart space. And I do love these cards so much. I'm using, let me show you. This is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart, for the Heart. And I do love this deck. And it does have a little book inside, which is, it's so handy. When I first started reading, I really depended on the little books inside. And then it was like, oh no, you shouldn't need the book. What's wrong with you? But I was so new, I didn't know any better. And so, so what we're doing, Humpty Dumpty, is we're looking at questions about manifesting, or the law of attraction. So if you're wanting to manifest something different, what questions do you have about that? And then I will try my best to get to everyone. But the little books are wonderful. So many times when people come to these readings, they're like, well, I can't afford to get a private reading, and I don't know, I don't know how to trust the cards, and I don't know what to do. And my thing is, go to the bookstore, or even one of the secondhand shops in your town, and look at the cards that are there, and one of them will call to you, and then thank goodness for a little book in there. So Vanessa, let's see. Okay, we have another 2. So the 2 is always about choices. But this is your inner being's message to you. So even though a part of you, like when you're having a relationship reading and you get a card like this, a part of you wants to jump and say, yes, yes, the universe is saying there's someone for me. But today's message is from our inner being. And so I feel like this is a call from your inner being, that there's a part of you, Vanessa, that's been feeling cut off, that you have felt incomplete from the inside. And there's no question any of us would feel that same way. But there's something that's just out of touch in your communication with your inner being. This circle at the bottom has my attention. And I'm seeing it like the sun is setting. So I feel like the grieving process that you've been going through is definitely better, isn't it? I can feel you nodding along with me. And it's leaving your consciousness, right? It's setting. And rising, we have you and your inner being. And here we have the hopes for the future. All right? there's a famous philosopher, her name is Oprah. And Oprah says, when in doubt, don't. When in doubt, don't. And your intuition will cause you to cringe or feel ill at ease or uncomfortable when you're out of sync with yourself right now. You have been under the protection of spirit. When I look at this, and this interests me, this little break, right? But even though the external world keeps trying to come toward you, the reality is that if you were ready, you'd be in it. And there would be a sense of ease and flow. But right now, it's just a matter of timing. And I believe your inner being is showing that there's something new coming. I mean, look at the top. See, we have this starting to fade and sink. But look over here. There's something new behind. Okay? Yeah, that's what I think, Vanessa, that again, this is a case where part of me wants to dive in and like throw a million more cards here. So Vanessa, feel free to reach out if you want. Just email me, and we can talk about doing something more. Because this is a difficult time. I did work at the pet cemetery, and I ran grief groups for pet owners. And I'm also a hospice volunteer. So I have a lot of experience in grief. And it's a trap to get involved too quickly, because you don't want to be in a hurt sandwich where you got pain in your past and pain in your future. So you're a sandwich, you're a hurt sandwich, and we don't want that. But your inner being is showing strength and patience. There's a part of you that is in alignment. Deeply within, there's a part of you that is at peace about what has happened. But it's that this energy here, look at how she's got the like almost a bandage around her head, it looks like from my view. So it's like the thoughts are still getting healed, and the hopes for a future are in his hand and her hand. Isn't that a beautiful card? Gosh, it's just beautiful. So let me draw a second card for you. My heart goes out to you, Vanessa, and there's not a person on this call who hasn't experienced a deep loss of some sort, but having the loss of a partner, it has not, I did lose partner with divorce, of course. That's not the same thing, but be sure to reach out if you wish to connect with me a little bit more about that. Okay, so the card that pops out for you is the Seven of Swords. And so this card, look at that, the forward crow, and this caw, 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 right? And so thank you for that confirmation. You're making progress, but your mind is where the difficulty is. And the Seven of Swords is just, this is got a cheating energy on it. It's got a betrayal energy, but you got to remember that the swords are all about your mind and what you're thinking. Okay, so you are kind of your own worst enemy. So am I. So are all of us all. And this is were you here in the beginning of this video I was saying about acknowledging that I have an inner being. I have something worrying me right now. So when that worry comes to my mind, I have to make the decision to think about something else. If I try to make up a positive affirmation about my worry, it feels fake, no matter what I say. So Abraham says, go general. And the general for me was, I asked myself a question. So Vanessa, asking yourself a question, do I believe I have an inner being? And it was a hell yes. I do believe I have a higher self that is available and can guide me if I access it, right? But that was enough. It was a yes, a solid yes. Did it solve my worry? No, not that I can see. But remember, I love what Abraham said about the kernel of corn, that you don't plant the corn in the ground and then the next day eat a corn on the cob. It doesn't work like that. Manifesting, we are manifesting right now the seeds that were planted 2, 3, 4, 8 years ago. Our life today is a manifestation of our former beliefs. So right now, if you have new beliefs and you can't see them yet, all it means is it's not harvest time. And so for you, Vanessa, I can only imagine the self-doubt and the self-talk that you would be doing to try to help your own self. You know, we try to help ourselves and trying to learn how to support yourself. But as you can see, look at this figure, all alone. We've got light coming, so there definitely is guidance, right? But all alone. Look at the difference in energy here, right? We've got the guidance, but it's surrounding and it's encompassing and it's a team. So, yes, absolutely. And I believe this is what, in a way, if you think about this, is such a beautiful picture. And I'm going to close with this. I think you know what to do, Vanessa. You are guided. But imagine that this is Gerald. And imagine him passing off, you know, like passing the baton and blessing you and holding an open hand for future love, right? And that he's getting ready to walk out of this life and finish the grieving. But that imagine that he would be handing you permission to step forward. But you know what? If you're not ready, you're not ready. And you know that. And there's no sense rushing. If you're having a hard time being alone, definitely Google or YouTube search Abraham Hicks, I hate being alone. No kidding. And then write to me and let me know what they say. Okay? I'm glad you're, see now those tears that are coming is just cleansing. And on a science basis, when you cry with emotion, there's actual chemistry, neurotransmitters are sending this detoxifying energy through your system, and that will help melt the blocks that are there. Okay? So big hug for you. Imagine this is all of us on the call right now, all of us that are just surrounding you with love, Vanessa. Oh, gosh, you guys. Okay, so now our next question came from Nav, and Nav had asked the question about therapy. And I love that question because there's a lot of people who believe in the law of attraction and they believe in magnetism. They know that they have absolutely attracted some things in their life, right? This is true magnetism. It sticks no matter what. But some other people have had times where they're just disconnected and they can't feel that magnetism. So when it comes to therapy, how do we know? How do we know if we should have therapy or not? Flip a coin. I would say one thing. Remember I said, I'm just going to move my cards a little because I want to do the science part again. Forgive me, you guys who were here first thing of the call, but I just have to. So the way life works without a lot of trauma and drama in it is that, or you've processed a lot, you've worked the work, because if you keep watching and listening to manifesting videos, you get so dang fascinated, it's like this stuff has to work, right? And so as you take responsibility, there are hurt feelings, you decide you're going to get rid of them, you do whatever you can to do that, then when you're out in your life, out and about and doing your thing, as you come into the neighborhood of somebody who has a similar vibe, it magnetizes to you. Some of you that are on the call right now, or I say call because I'm talking on the phone, but as you guys are here right now, you just happen to find this, that's an example of that. For some reason, there was something in this message for you today, or you would have not clicked in. So what happens? A lot of times life gets flipped upside down. Now what that means, like in Vanessa's case, losing her husband, or partner, was absolutely flipped her life upside down. You might get a diagnosis of a terrible disease, flips your life upside down. You might have to move. In fact, one of the things that has shaken the confidence of more of my clients over time was when they moved underneath the age of 10. There are so many people whose parents decided to move when you were younger than 10, and it was killer. You lost people, places, and things. And those losses have put so much fear of change into humans that we grow up to be an adult and we don't even know that there's something from the past that's flipped our life upside down. So some people will say, well, I've never had good luck. Bad stuff happens to me all the time. Your life probably got flipped upside down. In my life, my mom had a really terrible accident when I was not even 2 years old. Her clothing caught on fire, no kidding, and I saw it. And she was badly burned. And I was probably about 18 months old. But that got seared into my being, and I've had fantastic I've had some therapy, but I also had energy work, and tapping has helped me so much because our whole family's life got flipped upside down. Now, why am I ranting and raving about it? Because if your life's turned upside down, look what happens. You come close to something that's good for you, and what does it do? It runs the other way. Look at that. I am kind of magical, but I'm not that magical, right? But this is what's happening. If this keeps happening to you, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many prayers you pray, you can't get your life turned back up, flipped back, then that might be the time for therapy, right? On the other hand, if you want to take it to a much different level, but a similar vibe, you might need a personal reading. If you get the collective readings week after week after week and you're getting progress, but you're still finding that when it comes to people and good circumstances and the right opportunities, you're still not attracting what you want, take some action and get some help. Because if you can flip your life back right side up and restore your original beliefs and your original trust in the universe, you go back out and about and there's your magnetism. And it's so strong, it doesn't let go. That's the way it's supposed to be, my opinion. I believe that we're absolutely created to have that kind of magnetism. Da 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 da. No. And that's like the core of who I am. I have lived a crazy life. I've had the strangest stories, and I could tell them to you, and I will from time to time because I believe in manifesting. It's happened to me. I mean, a free cruise. Anybody want to hear about the free cruise? No, but anyway, I honestly bought a car from somebody because I had gone through a divorce and I needed to sell my car and buy a new car. I found a 1989 Toyota Celica, one-time owner with 89,000 miles on it. It was just so cool. I got it in 2014 and I loved that car. And I was able to pay for it because of selling my other car. It was fantastic. Well, little did I know, less than 6 months later, the young man who sold me that car sent me on a cruise with his mother, who had been taking care of her husband with end-stage Alzheimer's and never took vacations. And this man loved his mom. So he was impressed or liked my personality when I bought the car, and he gifted me with a cruise with his mom. No kidding. That was as real as real. I didn't put it on a vision board. That's the thing. It was just, it was something that brought me so much pleasure. And I think that's what I've learned about manifesting, that even though I might want to manifest like a new car or something that I could use, the pleasure that comes in between, the people I meet, the opportunities that come are so delicious, and there's so much satisfaction. And Abraham teaches about satisfaction, that feeling a sense of, I am satisfied. In fact, that's a great manifesting tip right there. Use the word satisfied, like between this week and next week. I'd love to challenge you on this. After a meal, say, I feel satisfied. Say it in your native language. And when you get home from after work, I feel satisfied. because satisfaction is something that is deeply soothing. It also creates magnetism, because when you state out loud that you're satisfied, that's opposite of I'm lacking something, okay? And if you can be, I get off these readings and I am extremely satisfying. Thank you, Tina. I'm extremely satisfied when I get off these videos. I love improv. I love letting the cards speak. I love connecting with you guys. So when I get off these cards, or excuse me, off these calls, I'm really energized. It brings me great satisfaction. So what I learned from Abraham is that I can take this tangible feeling of satisfaction and I can apply it to other areas. And the more time I spend in satisfaction, the more likely things will happen that will bring me more satisfaction. Thank you, Abraham. Do you know that the first time I ever listened to them was over 20 years ago? No kidding. They were teaching this stuff 20 years ago. And if you Google, that's fun if you want to Google Abraham Hicks 2003, because you'll pull up some really interesting recordings. And they say the same thing. God loved them, how they are so patient. So back over to Nav, and we're talking about therapy. So what does your inner being want you to know, Nav, when it comes to should you get therapy or not? And thank you for standing in the gap, because I know you're not the only one with this question. Aw. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Wow, I got goosebumps. Now, just looking at this card sent a wave of goosebumps through my body. So if anybody else that's true, that's so cool. It's proof that energy is fluid, and and it links all of us together for sure. But also, whenever you get goosebumps, you need to say to yourself, what's going on here? What did I just hear? What did I just see? This is one of the ways your inner being reaches out to get your attention. Your inner being does not rely on ideas. You might want to write that down. Your inner being does not rely on ideas. Why do I say that? Do you remember this card that we pulled up for I think it was Vanessa. Yeah, for Vanessa. See that crow? That's ideas squawking at you. Try this, try that, try this, try that. And it doesn't solve anything, okay? So the idea that you need to feel what's going on in your body. So when you do have a cringe, or it's the word like to have an aversion for something. And aversion is a very interesting thing, because that's like seeing a food that you do not like. It causes you to cringe. It's like you don't want to eat that. Ugh, that ew feeling. That your body, your mind can think, I don't want to eat that, but there is a physical reaction, usually in your tummy, in your gut. But you are in a place where what you're wanting, Nav, is achievable. So dreams coming true, especially asking the question about therapy, I think that your inner being wants you to know that you've set reasonable goals for yourself, that what it is that you're wanting to manifest is possible. Which, what a cool message, right? What a wonderful message. But it's about therapy. So what could this mean? I like, when I look at these hands, it strikes me that it's, okay, I'm gonna have to put the card down because I want to demonstrate. So this is what I'm thinking was like before, right? So this is like, sorry for that. My hands are so close. But when you're holding something tight, something's hurt your feelings, or you're feeling like you don't know what to do, you don't know who to trust, whatever it is that's got you. Now I'm gripping my hands real tight. In fact, if you all do this, it'd be a good idea. Do it with me, or you just grip your hands together. And it's just a symbol of holding on to something too tight, right? Okay, and then go ahead and open them up and kind of move your fingers around and just experience what it's like to release that. And it might feel like it's a relief. But look at the posture of these hands. It looks like they're starting to open, right? And as they open, they're not released excuse me, I have to find another card. All these cards are kind of, this always happens where the cards are connected to each other for all of us. Look at the position here, right? So her arms are wide, or look how far apart her hands are from one another, right? But in this situation, it's not like that. In this situation, there's just a little opening. And then look at that beautiful light in the center. It's like a universe. Look at that. Pull it close. It's like a whole universe is in those hands. So what that shows me, Nav, is that you have tremendous potential, that there's something there that's powerful on the inside of you. And it might be out of your consciousness. Like you might be thinking, I have no idea what this could be. I have no idea. Or you could already know. You might have a talent in something or want to accomplish something. And so you have a kernel of an idea, but you don't know how to bring it forward. So this does indicate that your inner being, I believe, is saying that therapy might be helpful here because of the fact that it's almost like the hands are frozen in position. In fact, if you look closely, it's white back here. See how part of it's white? So I feel like you've been going through a lot of processes and that you are thawing out, like you're melting and you're getting more in touch with what it is you can do, and especially around going into a new phase and letting dreams come true. So I would, let's see. Okay, here's what I would suggest. Just take a piece of paper. I'm going to draw a clarity card for you too here, but take a piece of paper and draw a line down the center of it. On one side of the paper, write down all of the reasons why therapy is not necessary, right? The reasons that you don't want to have therapy. One of them, sometimes people think, if I believe in attraction, if I use the law of attraction, I shouldn't need therapy because I should be able to do it just with my thinking. And for some people, that might be extremely true. For me personally, because of going through the tragedy with my family that happened before I was even 2 years old, I didn't even know about it. I mean, I saw it, but I couldn't process it. And later in life with therapy, I was able to connect that the reason I was stuck as an adult was because of something that happened as a child. And it was a traumatic event. Not everybody goes through that. But a lot of people who come into this world with the law of attraction are highly sensitive. You know, they say things happen that they can't explain. And they are so curious about manifesting. So that's what it shows me. Let me draw a card for clarity. And I love this too because it's a warm, gentle card, isn't it? I mean, it's not showing like an earthquake, but there's so much power in that baby universe. So do email me. My email address is in the description, but email me and let me know, Nag, would you? Because I'm curious, what is this baby universe that's inside of you ready to come out? And here we have all these swords in our clarity cards. Again, so 3 of Swords, yes, there definitely is heartbreak in your past that has given you a headache. Again, we have that crow that's just constantly talking and speaking in the ear. So there's a part of your personality, it seems, that is looped, like a figure 8. So the part of your personality that is hard to let go. It's hard to stop the thoughts. Look at this figure. Whoops, sorry. This little figure down here. There, look at that compared to this, right? It's the same arms, right? And also look at how the paths are kind of the same too. Isn't that interesting? These cards are so much the same. So I feel like this is the promise for you from your inner being, that your inner being doesn't want you to have to hold back from what's in your future. Your inner being wants for you to get freedom. So yeah, absolutely. I would say that I don't know where you are in the world. I know where I live, you can always speak to a therapist without a charge the first time, maybe a short visit to see if they're a good connect for you. Also, another thing is to ask. You might want to go to a metaphysical store in your area, or you can Google and call that shop Hi Divinely Guided, and call that shop and ask for referrals, because it would be nice to find a therapist that had a sense of the Stoic way of thinking, because that Abraham is based on Stoicism, and Stoicism has been as old as time. And also, gosh, I'm just thinking of this. If you get Netflix, there's a Netflix show called Stutz, Stutz, and it's about a therapy technique that is, I love it. I just personally, it just strikes me as, yeah, this would work, but that might be helpful too. Okay. So I wish you the best of luck, Nav, and be sure to write back and or write me and let me know what's going on there. Okay, so welcome everybody. I need to get my water. So, hold on just for a second. Can you hear the train going by? I love hearing the trains go by. I was thinking, because I didn't hear that for a long time where I used to live. Okay, so this is Catherine. Hello. And you've reached Fish Out of Water Tarot. I love to read cards for people who are feeling a little bit like a fish out of water, a little socially awkward, neurodiverse. Some people are familiar with that term. I'm neurodivergent myself, and that's makes social life kind of interesting. Not everybody understands me. And so that's my heart, is to help create bridges so people can feel more connected. So today we are doing Law of Attraction readings. So if you have a question about manifesting, that's what I'm answering. So if you're looking for love, if you're looking for a career change, you're looking for some kind of change and you want to know how to do it, or what's holding you back, what's blocking your progress, that is what I'm reading for. So, sorry for that, my throat. Grab my water. Hey. A is for apple, absolutely. What's your question for me? What is it about being blocked, or a law of attraction that I can ask? And what we're doing then we're asking your inner being, what is it that you need to know? Do you use the law of attraction? I love this. A is for Abraham. So that's what I'm going to say. And I know that I attract people of all different interests and hobbies. Okay, excellent. Thank you. I had a feeling. So A is for Abraham. So what we'll do here is we are going to go to your inner being. A is for apple, because the overall belief system is that we have a higher self that is on the inside that provides our guidance and our intuition. And so the question I will ask on your behalf today is, what do you need to know that will help you advance? I think we all indirectly and subconsciously. I'm going to ask, this question just popped to my mind, is like, what is it that you need to know that will give you a sense of taking the right steps? You know, that's because a lot of times when we are wanting to hear from our inner being, it's for guidance. And people come to the cards for guidance, But reality is that when the words are spoken, they are reminding you of something that you already know. And you'll see, like, when people make comments, thank you, Nav, where they say that's what I needed to hear, or thank you, it's because that what the card itself has that ability to turn something on the inside of you, because we need to trust our own inner yes. Hell yes. Yes, this is the best decision for myself, or no, I will not do that, because being in the middle, like hell maybe, is killer. So just for A is for Apple, what is it that their inner being wants for them to know in order to make progress this week? What's going on? And also, it's like the proof. Like, what is it the inner being needs to do to bring them into a place of deeper understanding of their own existence, as Abraham calls it, a blended being, that we're blended beings, that part of us is human and we're doing our human thing, and then the other part of us is spiritual, and that they're two separate existences knit together, okay? And so that's what we're talking about today. And we have move, okay. All right, let me just take a look here. Well, right away, it does make me wonder, are you considering a move? Is something in your life getting more uncomfortable, where either a move out of your current home, or out of a current relationship, or out of a current city, but that there's something going on that demands a change. And the move card like this, it is not an easy change. There's conflict there. There's breaking of energy. When I look at these two, the hands that are hovering above one another, they're not connected. So I'm just feeling like your inner being wants you to realize that there's nothing really wrong with this situation, because change is unfortunately absolutely inevitable. And there's no one that's hearing my voice right now that hasn't had to move, and it's been quite disruptive. So what strikes me is that the figure 8 of energy that's going around this heart, and there's a release here. So I feel like A is for Apple, that your inner being is really supporting you, what you're doing right now, that whatever you're breaking away from is best for you. And it's a gentle sort of shift. If you think about how a butterfly comes out of a cocoon, it doesn't blast off like a rocket to the moon, and you know what I mean, and drop the engine and go zoom out there. No, no, no. It takes tons of time for that butterfly to whatever they do, probably chew through the cocoon, I bet. Anyway, and then to come out of the cocoon. And when they come out of the cocoon, the butterfly's wings are wet, and it needs to wait until it dries before it can fly. So I feel like your inner being is wanting you to wrap yourself with patience, that there is a change going on, there's a heart change that's going on, and the more you release yourself from the hurt feelings and from the disappointments of the past, that you'll then get the acceleration that you're looking for. I wonder if you're feeling stalled in some kind of project. I see this kind of like a slingshot, that as the energy, as you continue to release, that you're just going to be thrust out into a different chapter of your life. Okay, so let me just, okay, let me just draw a card for clarity here. I feel like I got a very odd idea in my mind, and I'm just gonna say it, and it may be true for somebody else on the call too, but I'm getting a sense of motion sickness, that, and sometimes when you have to move, you have to be in a vehicle, like being car sick or being sick on a ship or something like that. So I'm just feeling that. Okay, so then I would say that there's something that's just from the card alone, that there's some kind of a move, and a lot of times it is something that is just moving away from something, changing focus, taking a project that you've been working on and then just moving in a different direction. So with no physical move coming, I would look at your attention and your intentions. What can you move away from in your life that will give you more time to do something more important? And your clarity card is the King of Cups. So this card makes me think of meditation. I'm curious if you've tried meditation. The idea of sitting upright and closing your eyes and breathing. That's it. You don't have to try to do anything else. As I've taught before in other sessions, when you're awake and your eyes are closed, you actually thank you, Paula, that you actually downshift your brain. Because when your eyes are open, like everybody look at this card right now, look at the details, the red, look at the sailboat, the starfish, right? So your brain is busy registering all those different images. If you shut your eyes and listen to my voice right now, and my eyes are shut also. So everyone shut their eyes for a second. Take a breath. It definitely changes your experience. You might not be aware of it, but when your eyes are closed, you shut off those visual receptors. So your hearing is changed, the experience of yourself changes. A lot of people don't do this. You can open your eyes now. A lot of people meditate right before they go to sleep, and that's a great time to meditate. It really is, to let yourself release the day. And again, if you want to look, there's some very cool sleep meditations by a guy by the name of Brian Scott on YouTube. He's got hundreds of them, but I love his. They are binaural, so you get stimulation in both ears. But wonderful manifestation affirmations. I just love him, so check that out. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about deciding, making a choice to finding out what it's like to experience yourself awake with your eyes closed. Okay? I don't even like to use the word meditate for that. It's just a different exercise. It's just to see what it's like. What is my experience when I set your timer for 5 minutes? Give yourself 5 minutes. That's it. But I have a feeling, A is for Apple, that there is there's an inner knock going on, that there is definitely curiosity on your part. I mean, here you are at a reading again. Yeah, no, I mean, right now, what I'm saying is that the card, I think that because you're not aware, because there's insecurity, that you're definitely being called to an inner, thank you for saying that, Tina, because it's true. A is for Apple. Sometimes the card, the way I speak, somebody else on the video will be resonant. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm moving. How does she know that? But for you personally, when I put these two cards together for you, there are some cards in the tarot that are moving cards. They will give you a sign that there's a move coming. This is not one of them. The King of Hearts. So when we look at the King of Cups, cups are your emotions, and there's the heart. So it's like the King of Hearts. I feel like your inner being is calling you into a relationship of some sort of awareness that you have an inner being. I would definitely listen to Abraham Hicks on YouTube, or Wayne Dyer is an excellent, excellent source, and Louise Hay. Those three are just trustworthy to me. I just love listening. Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay are both passed away now. They're not here with us, but their teachings are, and it's just common sense. And I suggest that might be the move that your inner being is calling you to, is to embrace your intuition embrace your own inner guidance. But yeah, no, I don't do that. Like, that's not part of what I'm doing here. It's just because I don't predict like that, but I do feel like the sense of movement around you is strong. So just take a peek around. What projects, what maybe friendships, something feels like it's ready to move out of your life, that you're going to be turning from something. And it's to your highest good, okay? And definitely give a try to that. Close your eyes, sit up straight, close your eyes, be awake, and just experience what it's like to have consciousness without your eyes. It seems so simple. Like, why would that work? I can't tell you why it works, but I do feel all of us are better off when we're connected to our inner being, that sense of inner guidance. It's very comfortable for me, and I'm grateful that I do feel the reality of it. I don't understand it, and I can't manipulate it. I can't force manifestations to happen. But as Abraham teaches, if I can get myself to a place of being physically relaxed, very relaxed, and open to hearing my divine guidance, it just serves me well and helps me here with the cards and in all the parts of my life. Am I perfect? No. In fact, the opportunity for worry is every day. Every day you could worry about something. But what I'm learning is that doesn't serve me. Then I don't generate ideas. And for me, when I'm in the flow, I just am creative and ideas come. So anybody else with questions about the law of attraction? Tina, anything you want to know? You're so kind to be listening in, but I'd be happy to draw a card. Let's see. Well, let me think of questions that people have asked me in general here. Oh, here's a good one. A lot of people are curious about negativity. Like, do you have to avoid negativity? And how can you? I mean, circumstances happen in life, conditions that can make us feel very negative. For example, the weather. If you have a bad storm in your area, if there's flooding going on, you're welcome, if there's flooding going on, right now the world is in upheaval, and it can be exhausting to try to stay positive all the time. What is the secret of that? So let's ask our inner being, what is it about being negative? Why is it that it has to be part of our lives? Can we be positive all the time? And if so, why not, right? So let's get a little guidance on negativity from inner being. Okay, our base chakra. Oh, this is interesting. Hold on. Well, what I get from this is so important. So the base chakra is all about our family of origin and our roots, okay? The root chakra. So in answer to, like, when I ask, why is negativity, what are we supposed to do? And the first card that comes up is that base chakra. So it's like the immediate answer from the universe, or from our inner being. Sorry, I want to get this here so I can pick my other deck. Sorry. With the base chakra is that it's from our root, right? So it's from, we're born with negativity. So what does that mean? I will tell you from a research perspective that we are hardwired for negativity, okay? Think about that for a second. We're hardwired for negativity. What does that mean? It comes from our history, from the fact of survival of the fittest, okay? So if you take humanity back before cell phones, before selfies, even further, way back in time, that there was not any kind of communication that was going on, of course, but your communication might be hearing a lion roar, right? Or your communication might be hearing the howling of a wolf at night that makes you afraid and makes you do the right thing, when humans lived by instincts, because there wasn't a lot of education like the way we have it now, but there's plenty of education in the Aboriginal ways. And we all have history, deep-rooted history. Our parents had parents. Their parents had parents. Okay, none of us is here without having come through a line of humans. And through that line of humans was lots of pain and lots of negative experiences. And only the strongest of our family from back then survived. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So it's good to know that negativity is a natural and important part of being human. If you're walking along and you come to the edge of a cliff, it's nice to come to the edge of that cliff and notice that it's the edge of a cliff and stop, and having the spidey senses to know that that negativity is good. But look how boring it is, right? Look at that. That's got to be the most boring card I've ever pulled. A red box. What? What kind of answer is that? Well, it's a mystery, isn't it? It's a mystery. And I think that when you're looking at your life, you've been trying to manifest, you're waiting on your soulmate or you're waiting on something, you cannot get out of the box. This box has red, so root chakra. So what is it that we need to know today, inner being? I can tell it's a deep topic. There's a lot to know about this negativity and how it can help us manifest. How can negativity help us? So I'm going to draw 3 cards for clarity here so we can get an answer. Because it would sure be nice if we could just get rid of negativity. Just throw it out the window, right? Who needs it? Well, let's see. So a card a card threw itself out. Oh, my favorite card. My favorite card just threw itself out, which is the Empress. And then let me draw 2 more cards. Now see, I could stop there, because the Empress is the manifestation card. I mean, the High Priestess is the card of deep intuition and inner knowing and confidence in manifesting, and knowing that you've listened to recordings, you've read manifesting books, and you know that manifesting is possible. That's like the High Priestess energy. Once the Empress comes into play, this means that things are manifesting here in the here and now, in the flesh and blood. So for this card to come up in a question about negativity, I would say that means that negativity must be part of your manifesting, and that really even denying it might be holding us in place. It's Murphy walking in the background. And we also have Murphy. Easy. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords, and we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, I love this. I love this reading. This is great. Okay, Murphy. Come here. Murphy. Okay. Ooh, it could be A is for Apple. It could very well be that, and I will answer that one, because when you are single, you are manifesting a single life. Everything about your life is singleness, right? So if you were to move out of your single life and you change your frequency, change your vibration, change your goals and your intentions, and you want to get to attract a partner, that could very easily be represented by those cards. And again, those of you who want a deeper reading, go for it, right? I offer them, but there's several readers right here on YouTube that offer personal readings, and then you can dig in a little bit more and get some more clarity for yourself, okay? But for this one here, we're looking at negativity. So, and listen in, A is for Apple, because this is a good message for you also as a single, because when you've manifested a single life, and I would say, like right now, when you're manifesting as best as you can, but you're stuck and you're not getting what you're wanting, negativity is stepping up here. Your inner being is stepping up to say negativity is very important in the gestation and in the birth of your desires. Abraham calls it contrast. Okay, so if you're not familiar with that, you'll hear them talk about it all the time. But just do a YouTube search for yourself and do Abraham Hicks contrast and listen to some of their teachings, because we must have contrast. The contrast means some sort of experience that just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And the reason it doesn't feel good is because your inner being is holding a different opinion. Your inner being is is having a different view, a different point of view, and a different perspective on your problem than you are. Okay? That's what makes you feel uncomfortable. When you feel like you're missing out on something or something's missing, it's because you are looking at the situation in a different way than your inner being. Let me explain. Because we don't know we're stuck and we don't know we're going on the wrong track. You know those bumps on the freeway that when you go over them, it goes blah, 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 and it's a reminder to get back in your lane. Negativity works that way for us, because if something happens that makes you upset or depressed or down, it means that you're looking at your problem in a certain way that your inner being is not. So let's use these cards. So let's use an example of somebody who wants to have a partner. They really want to have a partner. They've read some books, they've talked to some people, and they decided, yes, the time is right. I want to manifest my partner. Now, let's say they go out on a date and the date doesn't work out so good. Okay, kind of like this energy. It's like she went out, she tried it out, but the person she went out with was not the right person. She doesn't want to spend any more of her coins on trying to make a connection. She turns her head and says, oh, well, I don't want that. Okay, so that makes her feel sad, right? She feels discouraged. She went out and tried to date and it was horrible. And so the wish that she had, and she kept trying to stay positive about manifesting a partner, but her real life experience was negative. So you can misinterpret that and lose your original focus. And so the negativity, the way your inner being is seeing it, your inner being sees the completed you, right? Your goal of being with a partner is a true blue goal. It's your destiny. You're going to have a partner. It's a deep, deep desire. So when you dated this person and it felt bad, it was supposed to feel bad. It's okay. You may feel rejected. You may even feel like they were the one. But the fact that it left you feeling icky means that it was not for you. So instead of her turning away, she should turn back into her inner being and say, wow, I dodged a bullet. Thank goodness I saw the truth. That even though it hurts my feelings, I'm glad I know the truth and can move on. So it's kind of helping you stay in your lane. Negativity. If you were supposed to be with this person, you would have shared the same view of the person as your inner being, and you would have felt yes, and so would that person. This card over here, this card, now see, I have energy trapped in my upper chest and lower throat again. So somebody who's listening, you might be feeling that. Yeah, ooh, there's a big jam up of energy going on here. This here, this is a very precarious night. The knights come in with offers. And so this Knight of Swords coming toward your life right now, this person is chasing their motorcycle. Okay, so they're appealing just because they're have that sense of adventure, and they're like, it brings a spark to you. And again, our example is that you're wanting to date somebody. Okay, the negative message here is this is a person who's out of sync, that they have great potential, but they're chasing something. So the negative message is, who's going to take care of her? She's the Empress. She doesn't want to have somebody in her life who does not put her needs first. And again, gender doesn't matter here. It could be either way. But just this idea that the part of you, now this is a reading for somebody who is sure that they're destined to have a partner. They are. Our base card was the base chakra, meaning that there's something about negativity that we need to know is right. It's true. It's something to work with. So this example of somebody who really wants a partner and they have these two negative energies, what does it mean? Does it mean I'm not supposed to have a partner? No. What it means is that the people that you're seeing right now, or it could be the ideas that you have around a partner, are making you feel uncomfortable. Okay, and when you're uncomfortable, that means that you're holding a different view of your dating than your inner being. Your inner being knows you want a partner. Your inner being knows that the positive parts of having a partner, the positive, the vibe you feel when you're with someone new, the fun of dating, the zest of it, the attraction that's going on, the melting that's going on, the texting and the sexting, and all of it is just so delicious. And the universe wants that for you too. That's part of the Empress manifesting love right now, right here, right now. However, in your dating, you've got a little bit of timing issues and a little bit of priority issues, or you've got just the disappointment, like you can't get that dream, so turn your back and give up. Those attitudes are coming out of your human personality, but your inner being is standing true, okay? And so as the inner being stands true to what it is you're wanting, negativity then becomes a tool. It's just a tool. And so we don't reject it, we don't get upset by it. I use tapping. Tapping for me is just a lifesaver. And also, as I mentioned earlier, I do have a deck of cards that I'm working on. And the first draft is done, and it's about love attraction, and it's about getting over heartbreak, which is critical to letting new love in. So if you would like to review that deck, I need the help, and I would love for you to take a look at it. You can email me at TarotInfoPlease@gmail.com. Oh, yeah, wow, that makes sense. A is for apple. That makes sense a lot. As far as how that swirling energy that was around the card. Yes, that puts a whole new meaning on this card, because you are slowly but surely releasing and letting go. And it is kind of like a car sickness. It's hard. I feel for you, and I'm glad that you came in and were able to hear this reading. And this section too, this is good for you also, A is for apple, because sometimes when you have negative experiences, you really want to run the other way in a hurry, like get the hell out of there, and think that it's the negativity to be avoided. But no, it's an opportunity to see what your inner being could be thinking. So just to complete this example, and then I'm happy to answer any more questions about law of attraction, please, or manifesting. If you have one, write it down. But right now, when we look at this, instead of saying, I'll never trust again, that was horrible, I'll never do online dating again, no. Okay, so we could say, even though dating feels really awkward, the truth is I want a partner, and I'm willing to go through some hard times to get one, right? Even though a part of me never wants to date again, there's another part of me that definitely wants a partner, and I'm willing to find a way to be more comfortable. See how it feels a little bit better? and then the person might think, no, I'd rather be single. Or even though dating is not my favorite thing to do, the truth is that my partner is manifesting me also, and I want to be in circulation. Okay? And then for this person over here, the guy that's chasing, this reminds me of a guy that's chasing his career big time. He's like, go, 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 business, and he's brilliant, handsome, and fun to be with, but no time for the Empress, right? So it's like, even though I don't want to share my life with a workaholic, the truth is there's something very attractive about high achievement. Even though a part of me is not comfortable with everything about this person, the truth is I really do admire passion and confidence. Okay, so there's a way that you can work around softening up some of the negative responses and reactions that you have. But negativity is not a curse. Negativity is more like those the bumps on the lanes of the highway. When you hit those bumps, like, whoa, wait a second, I fell out of my lane. Right, because you want to hold the perspective of your inner being. Can I guarantee that that will work out to your best? Yes. Does that mean you're going to find your partner? I don't know that, but I do know that the closer you are to being in just conscious of the fact that you have an inner being, the more you're going to be in the right place at the right time. Okay? Anyway, any other last questions here before I check out? This has been so fun. I love spending time with you guys. Our inner being has been so faithful with our messages. And so if you have any questions about, or if I didn't answer your question and you're waiting, and I apologize for that, but I'm happy to answer anybody's questions about the law of attraction and manifesting before we take off today. And thank you. I'll wait while I'm waiting. I'm Catherine, and this is Fish Out of Water Tarot. You can reach me at at TarotInfoPlease@gmail.com. I do have a deck of cards that I'm working on. I'm looking for people that would volunteer to take a look at them, review them, see how they work. So if you're interested in doing that, definitely shoot me an email. I am here every Sunday doing these readings. I'm going to be putting out some other tarot readings this week because May is tomorrow. Can't believe that. Okay, so if there's no more questions, I'm just going to pull a closing card for us. Here, let's see, I think I'll pull one of these. This is what I'm going to take here. Angels and Ancestors. I love Kyle Gray. I've got a couple of his decks. And let's just draw a blessing card for us. Thank you so much. I needed this today with my worry. I need to ask me a question, Jahan. When it comes to manifesting, what do you want to know? What question do you have? What are you waiting for? Some of you may not have heard, because it was like a long time ago when I started this video, that the whole purpose of this call about connecting with our inner being was because I have a situation where worry is knocking at my door. And that's like negativity for me, is when I worry about something, because that's the opposite of detaching, right? If I was completely detached from it, I would not be worrying. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Twin flame journey. All right. That's good. That's good. So I'm going to just draw one of these cards and I'll do Jahan's. But how do we step out of worry? How do we get out of worry? And so, because I listen to Abraham Hicks and adore them, one of the things they suggested was always going general. So if I find myself worrying, I would just take it to some sort of general statement that I could believe in. And so they do things like this. They ask a question. Do you believe you have an inner being? And yes, for Catherine, I absolutely believe that I have an inner being. Something is in the inside of me that is separate from my personality. I can feel it. I know that when I walk around, I don't have a cord, I'm not plugged into anything. I have some sort of battery that keeps this body working. That's the way I look at it. So for sure, I can always say, yes, I have an inner being.